Hey there, and welcome to the Random Review channel. So today's review is this here little bad boy here, an infrared thermometer. Okay, now this one here, and there's lots of different brands. These you've probably seen them all over Amazon. This one here is branded, I would say, Thsinde, Thsinde. And as I said, there's lots of them. Now this isn't the type that shows you the thermal image in the back. It just gives you a digital readout of the actual temperature in either Celsius or Fahrenheit. So some of the functionality, it has a little laser in the front, which when you point the laser, that there is where you're measuring, okay, and you let it go and it shows you on the back of it the temperature. It does tell you on the side the optimum distance versus the size of the beam. So obviously it spreads out the further it gets. So if you're wanting to measure something with quite a narrow beam, you have to hold it a lot closer. If you want to measure something with a wider spread, something bigger, possibly like the caliper of a car, if you wanted to measure the whole sort of caliper, it'll give you an average. You can set this here to average, mean, max, minimum. You can change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit. There is a light function in the back. You open it up like so, and there is a 9-volt battery. The only thing I would say is that the 9-volt battery is pretty tricky because there's not a lot of spare cable on the battery snap, and this here is the little sort of crappy battery that came with it. But to be honest, it doesn't use a lot of power. I've used this here to test the motors on quadcopters, just to see if the motors are getting hot. Put that in, close that up, and that's it, ready to go. You push the trigger, let go, and it tells you the reading in the back. You can hold the reading on it, and you can change the functionality. You can change the max and the minimum. It tells you on the side that this is a 1 milliwatt wavelength 630 to 670 nm laser product. And on this side here, it tells you it has a range of -50°C to 380°C, degrees C, or -58 Fahrenheit to 716 Fahrenheit. So that's pretty much it. It's a great little handy little tool. If you want to check the temperature that your calipers, for instance, or your brake discs in the car are getting, if they're getting warm. If you're into quadcopters, it's brilliant because you can test individually the temperature of your 4 motors or your ESCs or any different part of that, and see if there's an issue with any of your motors. Very handy little tool to have, cheap as chips, and yeah, the accuracy seems pretty good. I tested it against another thermometer, a stick-on thermometer I have, which I know is accurate. It's calibrated in my job, and this here is within 0.1 to 0.2 of a degree, usually, if I get it at an optimum range. And I find for this here, the optimum range is roughly sort of about 6 to 8 inches if you're measuring things. I do find that if you're further away, it seems to be a bit more sort of hit or miss. So I would suggest just using it about 6 to 8 inches away. Yeah, and it's a great wee tool. So there is a lot of different brands these and a lot of slightly different designs, but they all pretty much have the same functionality and probably come out of the same factory, to be honest. So I hope this helped, and thanks very much for watching.